Brett Glass, President and CEO of Gleaners Food Bank of Indiana. How are you doing today?
Madison, I'm excellent. How are you?
Good, thank you for asking. You've done a lot in your professional life. What led you to Gleaners?
Yeah, I was just kind of minding my own business, practicing law after I'd left working at Indiana University, and I was looking for a side volunteer thing in human services. I wanted to be involved in that, but I thought it'd be consistent with my law practice. But things lead to things, and I was asked would I be interested in leaving the practice completely and being the full-time president and CEO of Gleaners, and I was like, feeding the hungry every day, yeah, sign me up for that. So it's been a great opportunity, and I've been loving it almost 2 years now.
What can you tell us about Hoosiers fighting food insecurity?
I'd say the main thing I would say about Hoosiers fighting food insecurity is it's an us problem. It's not a them problem. It's not somebody else somewhere far away. There's probably people in your communities, in your PTA, in your kids' soccer league, co-workers that are facing food insecurity, because 1 in 7 Hoosiers unfortunately are, and it cuts across all kinds of socioeconomic bounds, and it's an issue that impacts people right in our own communities and people who are working. It's an old canard that these are folks that are just waiting around for a handout. Couldn't be less true. Most people who can work are working at least one job in their household.
Can you tell me more about this room behind you?
Yeah, so Madison, our secret weapon here at Gleaners, maybe not so secret, is we acquire food, nutritious food on a massive scale. That's what we do. That's why we're in a 300,000 square foot warehouse, and this is our protein repack room, which is busy today, fortunately, where we get a semi-load of 40,000 pounds of chicken, for example. It comes in 5,000 pound totes, and our protein repack rooms able to repack that into sizes that our neighbors can consume, 6 or 8 drumsticks at a time. That way we can get food for free or very inexpensive, and are able to turn it around to our pantries so they can give it to our neighbors. We have a USDA food inspector right here on site that enables us to provide this service.
What is the biggest challenge Gleaners faces in fighting hunger?
Yeah, our biggest challenge, Madison, is having the resources annually we need to be able to provide the food that we give to our neighbors. So a little inside baseball, we get our food from 3 ways. It's donated by food manufacturers. They're very generous, and we do very well with that. 2, the government, and unfortunately recently that's gone down considerably, and the balance we purchase. And it used to be we purchased about 1/3 of the food that we needed, and that's news to a lot of folks who think, oh, it's green beans in, green beans out, macaroni and cheese in, macaroni and cheese out, but we need to purchase food to provide our neighbors. So with the decline in government food and the increase in need, we're purchasing about half the food we need to provide our neighbors. That's expensive. The year before the pandemic, we spent about $2 million doing that. This year we'll spend about $8.2 million doing that. So we need to look for resources to be able to financially support that. And fortunately, because of all this infrastructure we have, we're really good at it. We can take $1 that a donor provides us and turn that into $10 worth, or nearly $10 worth of food that you would buy at the grocery store. So, long answer to your question, repeating annual financial resources to provide the food we need for our neighbors is our single biggest challenge.
How have you seen food insecurity change over the years?
Yeah, in a lot of ways, I don't think it has. I think the pandemic, a positive, if you will, from the pandemic is we found a lot more people who are in need, and people became more aware of how to access the charitable food system. The biggest change is probably those numbers are going up between finding people that already existed, and unfortunately people just aren't able, with compressed wages, to make enough money to have what they need to not only buy food, but stay in their home, keep their utilities on, buy their medicines, and so forth.
Can you tell us a neighbor story that has deeply resonated with you?
Sadly, there's a lot of them, and we were spouting statistics about 1 in 7 people in the U.S. are food insecure, and those statistics can get overwhelming. You talk about 44 million people that are food insecure, but it really comes down to those individual stories, and I go out to pantries on a regular basis and interact with neighbors. One of the early ones that really got to me was I was in a drive-through pantry in Johnson County, and they were all lined up, and the line was backed up because there was a minivan with its hood up, and there was a mom yelling at the dad driving the minivan. He was frustrated. The kids were humiliated. It was a really sad sight. And I said, "What's going on there?" And the pantry manager said, they ran out of gas. They ran out of gas waiting in the line for charitable food. They said that happens all the time. And that was sad in and of itself. It was also a real stark reminder of how close to the edge the people we serve are living. I don't think a lot of us or your viewers can understand what it's like day to day to have the struggles just to get along when you're poor. And that was a reminder to me that these folks are living a different life than most of us do.
How do you ensure that neighbors get the nutritional needs that they need met?
Very important point. I'm very proud that Gleaners, before I got here, was a national leader in having a nutrition policy. We code everything that comes in this building. We code everything that goes out of this building. So we're able to say with a high degree of certainty that 81% of the food we put out is what we consider nutritious. Fresh produce, lean proteins, eggs, milk, and healthy dry goods. And so we're very proud that what we're putting into the system is highly nutritious.
What role do volunteers play in your organization?
Oh my gosh, we literally couldn't run this place without volunteers. We have 600 volunteers here every week. I didn't go to Purdue, but even I can do the math on that. That's over 100 volunteers per day. If we didn't have those volunteers, we'd have to hire 28 people on our payroll, which we simply could not do. So it's not hyperbole to say that we could not survive without our volunteers. And I'm proud that we have a great volunteer experience. We have a lot of corporations that come out here, and a lot of people that they come out every Tuesday and every Thursday, and that's their community, and they get a lot of fellowship from that. If it makes sense, maybe we could walk into what we like to call the chute here. We have a drive that goes right through our building that is a real important part of the way we serve our neighbors.
Yeah, show me. Thank you. Oh wow.
So this is the old Monarch Beverage warehouse. They had what they called the chute. We've adopted calling the chute a road right through the middle of our building, which is tailor-made for serving our neighbors on pantry days at the volumes that unfortunately we need to serve them. We could not do that in the traditional in-person pantry. We probably couldn't do that out of a parking lot. We are able to have our volunteers protected from the elements, and it's a very efficient operation. It's very quiet today, but it's kind of wild in here, but it's organized wildness, if you will.
You have an event coming up, fun event. What inspired the name of that event, and can you tell me a little bit more about it?
Sure. So we're really excited that this fall we're going to have the first annual Gleaners Huddle Against Hunger presented by the Indianapolis Colts. I give credit to Stuart Lowry, the husband of our chief philanthropy officer. As we were brainstorming ideas, he came up with a Huddle Against Hunger, which I love because it really is a convening. It's like a huddle. It's like, let's get together and make a plan on how we're gonna march over the goal line, if you will. And so it not only emphasizes our connection with the Colts, but I think also the convening that we're out to fight hunger. So we're going to have it at Lucas Oil Stadium on the field. Colts players involved, Blue's going to be there, cheerleaders there, food, drink, and what we've said is if it's not fun and it's not easy, we ain't doing it. So it's going to be a game day atmosphere, game day sportwear. Of course, there'll be tables and chairs, but you don't have to fill a table. You can mingle with whoever you want to mingle with. We're going to run the program, if you can call it that, through the Jumbotron during the entire event. We're not going to have to shush down and close the bar and get everybody to listen. Our message will be put through in a lot of ways that it is on game day with the Colts. So we're really excited. We think that's going to unlock a lot of corporate support. Already has been well received by sponsors. And as I said before, our single biggest need is funding our food acquisition budget, and 100% of the proceeds from this event will go to support our food acquisition budget.
What are you most excited for about Huddle Against Hunger?
The convening part of it, I think the Huddle is going to be an awesome opportunity to particularly have business community leaders who may not traditionally have been in our space to see what food insecurity is about, the impact of food insecurity, the impact on health and productivity and education, and then what we're doing about it. There's a lot of tough statistics, but Madison, I'm optimistic about what we can do to fight food insecurity here in Central Indiana. And I'm proud to be part of Gleaners to use these resources to invest in the infrastructure and use innovation to successfully attack what I think a lot of people view as an intractable or insoluble problem. It's not. We can make a lot of headway here.
And what keeps you motivated in the fight against hunger?
What keeps me motivated in the fight against hunger is coming to work on distribution days and seeing that line. And knowing that every one of those cars is a story about a family that's trying to make it and just can't quite do it. Knowing that they're working people, that there are people that don't want to be in that line, that they're looking for the support to get out of that line. And knowing that by feeding that line, we can often help shorten the line by providing the family resources to stabilize their economic situation or help enhance their economic mobility. So it's a healthy and a humbling reminder to pull in here and see the line of people who are in need.
If you could send one message to the community about food insecurity, what would that be?
You know, Madison, I hate to go back to it, but I'd say that food insecurity is an us problem, not a them problem. It's not endured by somebody else somewhere far off. It's right here in our own community. It's on your block. It's in your school. You may or may not know that, but it is. And when we embrace that, I think that these are truly our neighbors, literally and figuratively. I think it is a high motivator to assist them and find them where they are, and know that they want to get out of line as much as we want them to be out of line.
Fred Glass, thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks so much, Madison. Appreciate it.